Hey, boys and girls, for our last pumpkin exploration, we're still going to work with sink and float, but we're going to make our own density lab. So what we're going to use is we're going to use 3 different types of liquids. Okay, you're going to learn more about liquids next year in 2nd grade. The first one I'm going to use and I'm going to put on the bottom is corn syrup, which is the most dense of the 3 liquids we're going to use. So I'm going to put it in first and it's going to stay at the bottom. And I'm going to add some food coloring to that one too, red. And then I'm going to put in vegetable oil. This is old and ready to be tossed out. Pure vegetable oil is actually the least dense, so I'm not going to use that one next. I'm going to use just regular water in the middle, and then I'm going to use the vegetable oil on the top. The vegetable oil is the least dense, so you should be able to see the separation of the liquids. But then we're going to use them to see what is the most dense from our pumpkin. I didn't forget our pumpkin. Remember, if it's more dense, it will sink. If it's less dense, it will float. So I've got 2 parts of our stem. I've got a couple pieces of the flesh, like the skin on the inside. I've got some pumpkin seeds. And I have, well, I guess, yeah. Then we have what's called kind of like the guts, right? The stringy stuff. All right, so I'm going to move my camera down so you can see me mixing and check out these different liquids that I'm mixing. All right, so the first one is this corn syrup. You're going to notice it does not flow as easily as water does. It's very dense, very thick. See it flowing. I use the red fall colors. You can use whatever colors you want. You don't even have to use colors. I'm going to let that drip down the side a little bit. I should have mixed it up first, but that's okay. I might bring the camera down here a little bit closer. Get my hand out of the way. There we go. All right. I'm going to take that out. It's kind of dripping down the sides there. First. All right. The next one I'm going to pour in is our water. I'm going to try to pour it in slowly so that they don't actually mix together. Now, unfortunately, you're going to see, or not be able to see, there is a line right here. The water got the food coloring in it too. So the corn syrup is from here down, and the water is sitting on top of it. The water is less dense than the corn syrup. Now I'm going to carefully pour my oil inside. It should stay right on top. You'll be able to see this. Definitely can see that one. All right, so here, down at the bottom, we've got our corn syrup, which is the most dense. So something's going to have to be more dense than the corn syrup if it's going to stay at the bottom. I'm going to push everything to the bottom, and then we're going to see what stays at the bottom and what floats up. And this next part here, we have our regular water. It got the red from the food coloring. And then at the top, we have our oil. Yes, we do have some corn syrup dripping down the side. Okay, so you can definitely see the difference between the oil and the water. And then it's kind of hard to see the difference between here, but you've got this line. That was kind of neat. One of the corn syrups came down. You can kind of see, it's almost like an oil lamp. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can see it or not, the corn syrup's dripping down, and the little balls of corn syrup are kind of sitting down. They're starting to go down because they're heavy and they're dropping. All right, so I don't want to move it too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these pumpkin parts. I'm going to push them down to the bottom, and we're going to see which ones stay at the bottom. Maybe some are going to hang out in the middle. Maybe you're going to come to some are going to come to the top. So the ones that come to the top are going to be the least dense, and the ones that stay down at the bottom are going to be the most dense. So what I want you to do is I want you to make a prediction. This is your last assignment you're going to do. And when you're done with this, you can go to the next page and see what actually happened. And then I have directions so that you can try this at home. Super cool. All right. So the 5 things we have the stems. We'll call it the flesh. I said skin, but the flesh is more on the inside. We have the seeds. And we have what I like to call the guts. All right. So where do you think, which one do you think is going to stay at the bottom? Do you think any of them are going to hang out in the water? Do you think any of them are going to come to the very, very top? Go ahead and make your prediction before you go to the next page. Here we go.